Alright, in order for us to make this custom camera that's zoom in and zoom out from third person to first person, well, called true first person, what we're going to actually make a new project. We're going to make it the template code third person, and we just name it tutorial third person. Name it that. Create project. And it should build up all the stuff here real quick. Sometimes it takes a while to build all this stuff. Matter of fact, it's going to go black here a minute until we get this all built up again. Alright, so once that's done, we can just go to, would you like to open in Visual Studio 2013? Hit yes. I'm just going to build up a few things here real quick. Oh, it's getting there. Just gotta think, prepare a solution. Come on. Sorry, it was taking a while, guys. Just gotta. There we go. Alright, so now open up this, go to source. You should see all of our headers and our CPP files here. Good deal, good deal. Alright, so the first thing we're going to need to do, before we can start programming, we're going to do a few things first. First off, we're going to go to that custom character they give us, that little mannequin, the hero TPP, and we are going to add a socket to a specific bone. Because what we're going to do, we're going to actually make the camera, once it's zoomed in all the way, we're going to actually have it be at a custom bone we will make here. Which I already did. E4 prior, all you would have to do is right click on this, on the head bone, click on add socket, name it whatever you want, and you can move it however you please, just like that. So I have it a little bit further ahead so you look down a little bit better, but anyways. So the next thing you're going to need to do, you need to go to edit, and go to project settings, and you're going to go on input. You should see action mappings, and you should see like a few things like jump. I think jump's the only one in there, but I put in zoom in and zoom out. What you're going to do, you're going to type in zoom in, put mouse wheel up, and mouse wheel down for zoom out, and you're going to set as default. Once you click on that, the default INI, I'm going to show you where actually they're located. It's actually located in My Documents, and it should say Unreal Projects, and you should see Tutorial and Config. Everything should all be in here. All of the input and access mappings. So what we're going to do, we're going to set as default, do default configuration file was completely successful. So let's go back to that. I shouldn't have closed out of it. So nope, don't want to go to music. My documents and Unreal Projects and tutorial third person config default input. Didn't put it in there. Why oh why? Oh, I know why. Because I'm in the wrong thing. Okay, so let's open up our custom project we made. Here we go. Don't save. Actually, let's save it anyways. Okay, so now let's proceed. Actually, I wonder if we should do something else first, just in case. Yeah, that's what I figured was going to happen. So, okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to tutorial. We're going to actually load the debugger first in order to actually open up our custom project. Or else it won't work. Yep, there we go. Now we got our level coming up. Now let's go to tutorial third person. And then we should see all of our levels in here. Huh. Strange. Oh, I know why. We need to set this as a startup project. There we go. Now we can open it up. The reason why I set a startup project, or also they ain't going to know what kind of project you're running. Just be sure to actually set that as a startup project. So I have a few different projects I use, and I'm using this to help for a tutorial to help you guys out with C++ and custom cameras, because They're a little bit harder than usual. It took me a little bit to figure it out, but it was pretty kind of self-explanatory, and it's really easy to see once you get it all set up. It's building her up, building her up. I think it's got to probably have to build. And it's going to go black a little bit until this actually starts debugging and getting ready to actually open up the editor. Alright, the editor is starting to come back up. It should get us all ready to go. I might have to compile a few shaders right off the bat too, because I know it has to do that sometimes. So let's double check so we have our third person. Good deal. Simple third person template. Nothing too special. Just able to tumble around the mouse and everything else. Alright, now we could go back to what I said before. We could put our custom socket into the head bone if it ain't in here already, which it's not. So what we're going to do is right click, add socket. We're going to name it S head, meaning socket for head, you know. I just want a naming convention for it. So let's go ahead and let's rearrange it. Hit the space bar to change the transform rotation tools. We'll put it further here. We'll put it up here. There we go. This looks pretty good. Maybe a little higher. And right here. That should do. Then we'll right click and save. There we go. Right click and save. And that should take care of that. Now let's go back to edit project settings and go to input. There we go. Now let's go to action mappings and let's add a few of them. Let's add one that says zoom in, and one that says, let's go up this little caret thing here. Let's make it be mouse wheel up. And let's add one more map. We'll make it be zoom out. And we'll have it be the mouse wheel down if it lets me here. Quick, mouse wheel down. And what we're going to do is say set as default, and it should automatically change our INI file. So let's go double check, take a look here quick. Not Unreal, and go to tutorial, config, default input. Yeah, it looks like a mess here right now, but we're more looking forward to the zoom in, zoom out right here. So it definitely got everything else. It's got all the other stuff here too, in case you have a holding shift or control or alt or anything like that, but that's not really important. Alright, so let's move on. So if you got the mappings done, and we got the socket all taken care of, now we can move on to the programming. So let's go ahead and go to the third person tutorial. So what we're going to need to do, first off, we need to get a, what would you call it, a bool we need to put in here. So we're going to say, actually, where should we put, yeah, we'll put you after this, we'll put you here, we'll copy this out here, Control-V. So what we're going to do, we're going to make it say bool, B is in FPS. That's just a check that we're going to do, just make sure if it is in first person, you know, turn it on, turn it off, that sort of thing. So that's all kind of we need here for that portion. So we're also going to put a few prototypes in. We're going to override a few functions. We're going to get virtual void. I can type in void. We're going to get begin play. I believe that's what replaced the post begin play, and pre begin play is probably begin play. What am I doing here? I need to do that. Get rid of this. Hit semicolon. And we're going to need a virtual void tick floats delta time. Just so we can actually get it all updated for the functions. Like if it turns into like false for the bool, change the camera to this measurement, or change it to third person, that sort of thing. Alright, so we got a lot of variables here. You know, these are going to be important, because this will actually dictate if we could actually change the rotation of the camera when it gets in first person, so we can actually turn instead of actually rotating the camera and actually making the character roll with us. And also right here is creating the camera, it's getting the sub-object named camera boom, attaching to the root component. And here, same sort of thing, and it's attaching to the camera boom and getting the socket name from the camera boom to be attached to. We're not going to be adjusting the follow camera, we're going to be adjusting the camera boom, because it gives us more of a flexibility to adjust the target arm length. We're going to be messing around with this quite a bit to make our controller really work really well. Alright, so like before, we got virtual void begin player, so let's go ahead and put that in here right before the input. So I'm going to be void a tutorial third person character scope, and we should have begin play. The IntelliSense does work, it's just it takes a little bit of time to actually make it work. So let's go right out the bat, make sure it stays in first person. So what we're going to do, we're going to say B isn't FPS equals true. Just right out the bat. There. Let's see here. Okay. Now, that's all taken care of. It's having an error here. It's probably because it's having a heck of a time, but that's okay. It'll still work. So after that, we're going to do this. We're going to do void a tutorial third person character tick float delta time. What we're going to do in here in particular, we're going to set our conditions for the bools, like if it's in FPS, we're going to make the camera boom be this and that and that sort of thing. So number one, we're going to say camera boom. So we're going to see if it actually finds it with the actual pointer. Oh, it's having a heyday. IntelliSense being updated. It's having a hell of a day today. Okay, please wait while IntelliSense and browsing are updated. Yes, I know. And pointer. Now I should be able to. Then we're going to say target arm length. We're going to make it equal to 0.0f. So once it's actually 0, you know, it's all ready to go. Then we're going to say camera boom pointer sets relative. No, let's not do that first. Let's go ahead and attach to. We're going to attach it to the mesh, which is this mesh, which is a character mesh, because this is actually tied to the character mesh, so that's why we call it mesh. You don't have to call it mesh code name or anything. You don't have to search for it. And we're going to get the bone called S head, if you remember what we held it then. So we're attaching to the bone, which is what the parameter is here, is what it's asking for. So we hit comma. Well, if it actually lets me here quick, I'm going to attach to again. Let's see here. Just gotta think about some IntelliSense. I want to show you what it's trying to tell you when you actually input it in, because that's quite interesting to take a look. See, there we go. So it needs the scene component, which is mesh, and then it needs the f name and socket name, which is s head, and then parentheses semicolon, and then that should attach the camera boom to the head bone, not head bone, but the head socket we made. So then we're going to do now. We also remember these little things here. We're going to need all those here as well, because what's going to happen if you set them all to false right off the bat, it's not going to let you rotate the camera with the character. So what we're going to do, we're going to say, only thing we need to do is, I believe, set this, leave that false, because I think pitch makes it go forward, and it'll make the character literally go parallel to the ground if you look straight at the ground. It's really strange. So let's go ahead and set true. And then I think, yeah, let's go set the parameters. If is in FPS. There we go. There we go. Now we can just say that. Give it that thing down here. There. Oh, that's better. There. And we close the bracket here, and then we say else. And we could put it back to normal, which what we're going to have to do is, number one, set exactly with these. Set them all to false. So then it actually rotates around the character without rotating the character. And then we're going to basically what we're going to do, we kind of setting everything back to normal. We're going to be saying like camera attached to back to the root component of the character. What else do we need to do? Let's see, use controller view rotation. I think we might need that, but I'm not 100% sure. No, we don't need that. We're going to need the follow camera. No, you don't need to do that. But you need to detach it. Just gonna have it attached to the root component when it's actually zooming out. So, okay. So what else do we need to do? We need to set up a few functions here. So remember the prototypes here. We're gonna set up 2 more prototypes here. We're gonna say void zoom in. No parameters inside it. No need to. And then void zoom out. There we go. So let's go ahead, go down to the input. So we can't say input component pointer. We're going to have to say, I think it's bind action, I believe. Yes, bind underscore action. And we're going to say input component. And we're going to need zoom in. This is the name of the binding that's actually in here, which I'll show you once again. You have to get the name of the binding that you put in here, which is no, don't care. Projects, tutorial, config, default input. So we named it zoom in. We're going to need that action name to put here in quotes. That's why we put it in quotes. You're going to need the key event, which is a IE underscore pressed. And then we're going to need a reference. Actually, we'll do the reference here in a bit because we don't have the function in yet. So do that real quick before I actually put that in here. So that's after that. So we're going to put the binding here. We're going to say void zoom. We're going to say a tutorial third person character scope. We're going to zoom in. Have that laid out. I'm going to do the same thing with zoom out. Void a tutorial third person character and zoom out. And we gotta fix that one here. Got a C there. Character. Zoom in, zoom out. So now we could say here. We say a reference to a tutorial third person character scoping to which one? Zoom in? I'm going to say zoom in. There we go. And do the exact same thing for the bottom one, except you're going to say zoom out. Say zoom in, zoom out, and zoom out. Capital O, there we go. And that should all work out there. Yep, they compile right. Okay, so let's take a look here. So if in FPS, we're going to say target length is 0 right off the bat. You're going to make it attach the mesh to the bone, not bone, but the socket name S head that's attached to the head. We're going to make it be able to change the yaw and the roll, but not the pitch, because bugs will happen. And else it will set this all back to normal. So let's go ahead and start with the zoom in function here real quick. So what we're going to say is that if camera boom target arm length is greater than 75.0f, if it's greater than that, we're going to do these parameters. We're going to say B is in FPS equals false. Make it basically what we're saying, if it's greater than 75, we're going to make it actually be not in first person. So we're going to also say camera boom. I want to get this pointer up quick. Just want to make sure I get the right ones here. Yep. Target arm length equal. Actually, we're going to minus equals. If we're zooming out, we're going to minus equals by 75 units. BOF. Because by default in the actual thing here, it's already, where are we at? It's already 300 right off the bat, no matter what. It's always 300. You can also change the length if you want to. You can go and do begin play and say camera boom target length equals 600 at begin play if you really wanted to. You could definitely do that. And we're going to also do one more thing. Do camera boom pointer, and we're going to say set relative location. Reason being for this, because I'm trying to make kind of like an over-the-shoulder look to it. This is what I do to solve this problem. Say f vector. We're going to make it 0.f, 50.f, and 50.f. It gives me a good results for what I want. It works really well. Let's see, that's for the if there. I'm going to say else. If it's less than 75, we're going to say B is in FPS equals true. Simple as that. And that's for the zoom in one. So let's go ahead and go to zoom out. Kind of doing the opposite thing, which won't be too hard. So we're going to say if camera boom target arm length is less than 225.f, 0.0f just in case. There we go. We're going to have B is in FPS equals false just for a check. That's why I do it there, just for the check. Camera boom pointer, I'm going to say target arm length plus equals 75.0f. So when we zoom out, we're increasing the length of the boom. You kind of see what's happening here. That boom is what holds the camera together. I'll show you here real quick, just in case you don't understand what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and go to the blueprint here and go to components. You see this, when I click on camera boom, you see this little line here? That's the boom that's holding it, the separation between the camera and the mesh. That's what I'm trying to minimize altogether as we actually scroll the wheel. That's my goal I'm trying to achieve here. So adding, makes it longer, subtracting makes it shorter, obviously. And we're also going to say camera boom pointer. IntelliSense is a little derpy in this, but it still works at least. Set relative location. I'm going to say f vector 0.f, 0.f, come on, there we go. 50.f and 50.f. Bingo. That'll set us that offset even when we zoom out as well. And else, what we're going to do, we're going to set it like kind of right behind the actual character itself, and it's all the way zoomed out, so it kind of gives you more of a better perspective. I just like doing that. I don't know. I like it. I'll show you my results here quick. Camera boom. I'm going to say target arm length equals 300.0. And we're going to say camera boom pointer. If it gets to it. And set relative location. F vector. Make it be 0.f, 0.f, 0.f. That sets it back to default where it was before. There. So what should work now, in theory, let's see here. Let's go overview this. So right off the bat, we're making it true on begin play. And during the tick, this is so the check for if it's in FPS, we get arm length equals 0, attached to the socket on the mesh, which is attached to the head bone, and making it be able to rotate the yaw and the roll. When you move the mouse around, it'll move the character as well. And if it's else, it'll set it all back to normal. So let's go ahead and build it. We'll compile the code. I like to say build because I always build code. It might give us an error because we have to restart the editor because we put new properties in it. If not, then we're good. Yep, I'm pretty sure that's the case. Let's take a look. Yeah, so what we're going to need to do, we're going to restart the editor, which is no big deal. Alright, so let's go ahead and hit, once it gets popped up, reload the debugger, and we should be able to get going. Not too bad, not too bad. Alright. It's going, it's going. One thing about building projects, when you put new properties, sometimes it has a heyday for like put a new U property in. It doesn't like it right off the bat, so you have to restart the editor and debug mode. Here we go. Yeah, Unreal 4 is amazing. Greatest thing ever. I checked it out when I went to GDC this year. Really awesome. Really awesome. Alright, so let's see if this works. Alright, so I look straight down. And it looks a little off, but let's take a look here. Where we zoom. I'm going to hit the mouse wheel down. And it continues going. We'll get to 300. We're out here. Rotate around the character. Same thing when you, no matter what, as long as it's not in FPS mode, you can rotate around the character as much as you want. But once you hit FPS mode, you can rotate the character, no matter what. Except we got just one little thing. It's just a little off. Not a huge deal. Easy fix. So let's go ahead. Let's go back to our code. So we don't have to worry about restarting it this time. We can actually fix it here. We need to, yes, that's what I forgot. I forgot to actually offset it in here. Set relative position. I'm going to say camera boom. Pointer set relative location, my bad, F vector. And we're going to say 0.f, negative, 5.f, and 0.f. It's just I was messing around with it before, and that's how I got this number, and I was like, okay, this should work. Alright, so let's go ahead and compile this, and see if it works. It shouldn't take too long. Taking a little bit. Must be having a heyday today. Come on, compile. Ooh. Alright, I'm gonna go black here a second while to get compiles. Alright, the code just got the compiling. It didn't take too long after, but yeah. Alright, so we just got it compiled, so let's go ahead and take a look and hit play. Alright, that looks a lot better. We offset by -5 units. We actually zoom out. You know, you actually move this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. You zoom out all the way to 300 units. This is the 300 unit mark. And it's all the way zoomed out. You're able to pan around the character, in through here, and it works. You got first person, well, true first person to over the shoulder, all the way to the back. Actually, it's kind of like 3 cameras, but it's not really 3 cameras, but yeah. Well, I hope you guys like this tutorial. Subscribe, like, request any more tutorials, and I'll do what I can to make more. Thanks for watching.